everybody, welcome to Sports Grind Season 3, Episode 2. My name is Tyler Wargo, and today we're going to start off with Thursday Night Football, and then we're going to get right into slowly baseball, which was from yesterday. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Close game in Tampa as the Buccaneers won by just a couple points against the Cowboys. That score was 31-29, and honestly, I was surprised by what I was seeing with the Cowboys in the first half of the game. I mean, they were showing aggressiveness, and that's what Cowboys love seeing. A lot of people did not think the Cowboys would come into this year that aggressive. I mean, we were seeing some interceptions being thrown and everything. We saw Dak Prescott throwing 3 touchdowns. Dak Prescott normally doesn't throw 3 touchdowns. Normally, he gets the ball turned over. Hey, sorry, Cowboy fans, but that's normally the reality for the Cowboys. Now, Amari Cooper was the hottest on the offense. He was so aggressive with racking up 139 yards, having 2 touchdowns, and I think the Cowboys can rely on that wide receiver for a long time. I mean, they're going to keep him on the team. He has experience with the team. He's also comfortable with playing with Dak Prescott, as we see on the offense. Brady, though, continuing to play ball as he racked up 4 touchdowns, and without Gronkowski, he wouldn't have 4 touchdowns. I feel like we'd see him have at least 2 touchdowns a game instead of 4 because Brady relies on his receivers like Gronkowski. Will their team ever be stopped, though? Like, will they win the Super Bowl again? I mean, I know it's too early in the season to say that, but there has to be a team to step up this year that's going to say the Buccaneers are not going to make it that far in the postseason. But what team will it be? We're just going to have to find out. So let's now have a look. So that was only the game for Thursday. Let's look into baseball. There was a lot of interesting games that were happening yesterday. We're going to start off in Wrigleyville as the Giants took over the Cubs 6-1. Chris Bryant returned to face off against his former team, the Cubs. He got emotional. I never really saw Chris Bryant get emotional like that, but it's always nice to see a former Cub go into Wrigleyville. Especially, he was a rookie. He was doing the best for the Cubs. The best. He was actually with the Cubs franchise for years, so that meant a lot to him. Brandon Belt performed excellent as he had 2 home runs and 2 RBIs, making him player of the game. So Brandon Belt, we don't really see him do that well, so it's kind of nice seeing him do that good. So Kyle Hendricks, he was decent enough to strike out 4 hitters, including Buster Posey, Tommy La Stella, and Chris Bryant. So that was pretty good to see. Nationals were in the Steel City as well. They actually lost to the Pirates 3-4. Nationals, they're missing their players. I'm going to be honest with you. They're missing their old players. They're trying to keep their wins and losses consistent, but, you know, it happens. Those games happen. So we're also beginning to see more of the Pirates outfielder Mark Reynolds do well, and Anthony Alford, as he had 2 home runs. Anthony Alford, he doesn't really have that much experience on the Pirates, so him doing that good for the Pirates means a lot because Pittsburgh, I mean, they're trying to win themselves into the postseason, but it's kind of more of a challenge for them, especially for the Nationals too. Both pitchers had 1 strikeout, so they were not doing that well, but we saw a lot of hitting on both sides though. Rockies winning the series in Philadelphia as they won yesterday 11-2. Rockies are falling short in their division race as their record is 65-77, so it's going to be a real tight one in the postseason. I don't think they're going to have it. Phillies are also in a bad slump as of late as they are now holding on to their 71-70 record. Where does this come from? The Phillies, I thought they were good. Like 2 months ago, they were racking up the hits with McCutchen and Harper and Real Muto, but now they can't seem to find the ball. They have no patience at the plate. Their defense is good, but their offense is falling as of late, especially Segura. We got to see more from him. But thankfully, the Phillies have Bryce Harper. He remains hot as he had 2 hits, 1 walk, and 1 RBI. Orioles got a nice win in Toronto, 6-3. Cedric Mullins and Trey Mancini were the guys to look at in this game. Cedric Mullins had 2 hits, 1 walk, and 1 RBI. Robbie Ray, though, for the Blue Jays, he put on a show. He had 8 strikeouts. Robbie Ray, he has experience with the team. He loves pitching for Toronto, and honestly, it's not that big of a challenge, especially when the Orioles only rely on those 2 hitters. Without those 2 hitters, it's pretty easy for any pitchers to go up against the Orioles, and they just got to improve. We now take you to the Subway Series, which happened in New York as the Yankees took the loss against the Mets 10-3. They got destroyed. And I like to say, Mets fans, your team is back. I know Mickey Krell in Cincy right now, he would be happy right now that the Mets are actually winning now. I know last season he was hating the fact the Mets were doing terrible, and they got their players hurt. That's what happens. But the Mets are back to normal now. They have their hitters. But what does this mean for next month's postseason? Will they actually keep their wins consistent? I don't know, because they do fall over games shortly, but we should see more from them going into the postseason. Going with Jonathan Villar, as he had 2 home runs in yesterday's game. That's exactly what the Mets need. Him, Baez, and Lindor combining their hits together, they could definitely go far in the postseason. I have faith with the Mets, actually, and I'm not finding it that shocking. As much as Yankee fans find it shocking, I don't find it shocking if the Mets beat the Yankees. I mean, the Mets are back, they're healthy, and they're ready to score. So Baez, let's talk about Baez. He hit a home run. He's hitting a home run almost every game now as a Met. This is what the Mets love to see. Tylor Miguel has it going for him. He had 10 strikeouts, so the Mets have their pitching. It's there. Their pitching is, it's average. Sometimes they can have a bad game, but the Yankees dugout was quiet, so I gotta give kudos to Tylor Miguel right there. Brewers been hot lately as they beat the Indians 10-3. The Oklahoma kid Adrian Houser had 9-6. He has a 9-6 losses and win ratio, and that shows something. Bobby Bradley has been improving as of late for the Indians. The Brewers are in red hot first place with the Reds behind them. So a lot's been happening in the AL Central and the NL Central. You got a lot of teams just below each other, and it's getting really competitive, especially with the Brewers that are trying their hardest to beat the Reds. They're keeping it close, so the Brewers getting that win against Cleveland was really good. So Indians remain in second place behind the White Sox, but it won't be shocking if they lose that place because the Indians, they've been falling short. From Reyes, he can hit, but other than that, he's been striking out lately. He's been only getting ground outs. So we want to see more, especially from Ramirez and their stacked team. I know for a fact Cleveland can do well in the postseason. I know they got this. It's just going to take more from their defense as well. Tigers picked up a nice home win, 4-10, shockingly beating the Rays. Where was that? Tigers are coming out on top in Detroit for their hometown. Amazing. The Rays pitching was just not there for them. Michael Wacha performed in 5 innings, and they let him go almost to the 6th inning, which was a bad idea. You should have took him out 3rd inning, because after the 3rd inning, they were just giving up runs, and that's not what the Rays love to see. And that's not normal for them. Michael Wacha has plenty of experience with the postseason. They would love to see him do well, but that loss yesterday by him didn't show anything. So Scope has been reliable on first base, replacing Miguel Cabrera. He had 4 RBIs, 2 hits, and a home run. Jonathan Scope is the man to look at. I'm going to count on him for first base. Keep Miggy on the DH. He's good at hitting. But Scope, this is a perfect opportunity for him to show the coach that he can be out on first base. Tigers relievers have been exceptional as of late. The reliever had at least a strikeout or more. I know that 2 of their relievers towards the 7th and 8th inning, they had 3 strikeouts. That was amazing. So kudos for the Tigers right there. But they just have to keep up their wins because they've been falling back ever since yesterday's game. They've been falling back a little bit. So they're still in it, but not really. So they got to keep their competitiveness and aggressiveness there. Braves won in Truist Park, beating the Marlins 2-6. Trevor Rogers had 6 strikeouts, and he only gave up 1 walk. Jorge Soler was the man to look at. Jorge Soler, let's talk about this guy. When Freeman's not having a good day, like when you rely on Freddie Freeman, Austin Riley, and they're not having a good day, it's not, the day's not over. You got Jorge Soler, who has 2 RBIs and a home run last night, and he literally carried the Braves to a win. Him and Austin Riley work perfectly on the field. Their defense has been proving a lot lately, and I hate to say this, as a Dodger fan, I have faith that the Braves will make it pretty far into the postseason. But the Mets fall right behind, so watch out for them as they're healthy as well. Ohtani did not pitch well, as he only had 1 strikeout as the Astros beat the Angels 5-10. Ohtani did not like that, but Ohtani, though, had a home run and an RBI. Ohtani. When you're not pitching well, you're going to hit well. When you're not hitting well, you're going to pitch well. I mean, he could play both positions, and it's amazing to see. Although that loss did not define the Angels, they could definitely step back up here, and they have a huge shot in the postseason this year. Alex Bregman was the player of the game as he had 4 RBIs. Where was this? Where was Alex Bregman? This guy was all over the field. This guy was playing so well defensively. Offensively, he's been aggressive at the plate. He's also patient, but with him being patient, it gives the Astros the runs on the board. He also had a home run, 2 home runs. Framber Valdez had 6 strikeouts, so he did well for the Stros. Royals beat the Twins in Minneapolis 6-4. Red Sox faced the White Sox. That was a good game, as we know. The Red Sox are looking for that wild card, and the White Sox, they're in first place in the AL Central, so that was a great game to see. It was close too. It was 4-3. Tanner Crooks did not do well on the mound, only having 1 strikeout, giving up 3 walks. I mean, he's also a new player for the Reds. He's also a new rookie for the Red Sox for their pitchers, and honestly, he has to be more confident pitching up there. You know, I get you're facing Abreu, you're facing Mendick, you're facing Anderson. It's going to get hard, but you need to work out and communicate with your catcher, because we haven't been seeing a lot of communication, I feel like. Carlos Rodon helped the White Sox by having 7 strikeouts. Abreu stayed hot by having 3 RBIs, 1 walk, and 1 home run. Abreu, this guy is a beast. We're going to see him make a lot of plays in the postseason. Reds won in St. Louis 4-2. Votto had a walk, an RBI, and 1 home run. Eugenio Suarez had a home run, 1 walk, and 1 RBI. So the Reds, this is why they're hot. I mean, Suarez, this guy gets an RBI almost every single game. This guy tallies up like 2 RBIs a game, if not maybe even 4 RBIs. This guy makes the Reds who they are. Their defense is amazing. Votto, he's literally at his prime, and he's been doing so well. He gets like almost 2 home runs a game with 2 RBIs a game. For the Cardinals, Yadier Molina had 2 RBIs and 1 home run. And this is, as you guys know, you guys should know this, Yadier Molina, this is his last year in the MLB, and he wants to finish it off strong, staying with the Cardinals, being with the Cardinals, doing well with the Cardinals. And this guy is almost 40, and he literally is putting on a show every day. So I want to give props out to Yadier Molina. He's definitely going to be a Hall of Famer in a couple of years, and I can't wait to see that. He's been doing really well for the Redbirds. So shout out to him. Shout out Yadier Molina. He's a great catcher. No balls will get past him, no matter what age he's at. Rangers took the L in Oakland, 5-10. Matt Olson's the best player in my opinion for the A's. He's the greatest first baseman. He hits RBIs, home runs, day after day. This guy is someone you can count on. Yesterday he had 4 hits, and they were all RBIs, so kudos to him. Marte had 5 at-bats, and he made them count, as he had 2 home runs and 2 RBIs. Starling Marte, when you get this guy on base, he's scoring. This guy is fast. He can steal. He has literally around like 40 steals. Oh no. Well, including with the Marlins, he has like around 30 steals a season. He is just phenomenal when he's out there on the diamond. But for the Rangers, Nate Lau, who used to be the former Ray, he had 2 RBIs and a home run. So Nate Lau, he's doing really well from the Rangers. He's doing just as good as he was when he was on the Rays. And the Dodgers, let's take you over to Los Angeles. The Dodgers were home against the Padres. Now, that score was 3-0. And as a Dodger fan, I just want to say, Urias is such a reliable guy. Matter of fact, one of the most reliable guys in baseball. This guy had a handful of strikeouts, and especially striking out the heavy hitters on San Diego, leaving them scoreless. That's amazing to see, especially from a Dodger standpoint. That's just awesome to see, because the Padres, Tatis, that guy was not even hitting the ball. That guy was striking out constantly. He had bad at-bats. Max Muncy was also fun to watch, as he almost has a home run and an RBI in almost every single game. This guy is... Don't even get me started with Max Muncy. This guy is the next big thing for the Dodgers. When I tell you he's going to stay on the Dodgers the next upcoming season, he is. He loves this franchise, and he loves working hard with the Dodgers. This guy is so aggressive. I'm not going to lie, you throw a wrong four-seam or curveball, he will find that. No matter how fast you pitch it, 80, 83, 93, whatever, how many miles an hour you pitch it to Muncy, he will hit it out of the park. And I mean that with passion. He is the best Dodgers first baseman that they had in a long time. So, he helped the Dodgers get a dub. Going with Urias. Musco continues his hard work by striking out Trey Turner and Justin Turner. He had 7 strikeouts. And lastly, we take you over to the D-backs, who fought hard and lost to the Mariners 5-4. And I just want to say, the D-backs are they're not making it to the postseason. But the past weeks that we've been seeing them play, they've been working so hard with their offense. But they just can't beat the other team. Like, they can get these runs on the board, but their pitchers cannot do them any good. The only guy they're relying on right now is Madison Bumgarner. I mean, Merrill Kelly, he has his ups and downs. You can't really rely on him fully as a D-back. So Madison Bumgarner had 6 strikeouts. Luis Torrens and J.P. Crawford in Ty France has been putting on a clinic in Seattle. Every time you see him at home facing off against any team, they will get a hit and they will perform well. So the Seattle, they've been doing well. The Mariners are now tied with the Red Hot Athletics, 77-64. That's something to show. Because the Athletics, as much as I love to say that they're doing well, they're also tied with the Mariners. So don't sleep on the Mariners. They will face off in the nearby future, and that will be a great game to look at. So a lot of things are getting interesting. We have the Red Sox who are competing with the Blue Jays for the wild card. Then we have the Athletics who are now tied with the Mariners, and that's just going to get hotter from there. And then, of course, we have the new series with the Dodgers and San Diego Padres. They're neck and neck. The Giants have been just unstoppable. So this upcoming postseason is going to be really hard. A lot of teams are going to fight. The big names are going to have to hit the home runs and score the runs. So that wraps it up. Like I'm saying, a lot of things in baseball are getting interesting right now, especially with the Athletics and Mariners, White Sox and Red Sox. Red Sox are trying to get the wild card. So it's all coming down to the wire, as just next month postseason going to begin, and we're going to be seeing a lot of hitting from both sides. So without further ado, I'm Tyler Wargo, and thank you guys for tuning into the Sports Grants Season 3, Episode 2.